Hello and good day to Madam Faslina. I'm CHEE from Negeri Sembilan Seremban. I'm going to talk about the intern experience that will be going for 6 months in On Semiconductor Sdn Bhd. Okay, so let's start with a brief about the company. Okay, so first of all, On Semiconductor Malaysia Sdn Bhd is a company that is based in Malaysia with its head office in Seremban. There are actually 4 offices that are located in Malaysia, which is 2 in Seremban, 1 in KL and 1 in Penang. Okay, so the enterprise operates in the semiconductor and related device manufacturing industry, which is created devices and also products, which is wafer and also various electronic products that includes automotive, communications, computing, consumer, industrial, medical, and also military aerospace applications. Okay, so in Seremban, there are actually 2 offices, but I'm currently working at which is Site 1, which is more likely to have assembly and also testing for products that are manufactured at Site 2. Okay, so at Site 2 is we normally call it as ISMF, as its product wafers and also other products to be assembled and also to be tested in Site 1. Okay, so the vision on OnSemi is the premier supplier of high-performance silicon solutions for energy-efficient electronics, while the mission for OnSemi is actually to provide our customers with high-quality, cost-effective solutions to solve the demanding power and signal management design challenges. Okay, so in On Semiconductor, we like to press about 3 things, which is core values. The first one will be integrity, the second one will be respect, and the third one will be initiative. Okay, so about integrity. In this company, we are more likely to provide our services with integrity to our suppliers. Not just only that, we as a workers, as an indirect labor and also direct labor, will be working with integrity in this company. So secondly, we'll talk about respect. First of all, in order to survive in this multiracial company, which is On Semiconductor, it is very important to implement respect among the others, and also especially with the suppliers and also the people outside, which are also giving us what we needed. Okay, so the third one will be initiative, which is we always take account of risk when we are trying to figure out some solution, and also especially during nowadays, which is the pandemic that happens during our intern, which is quite unfortunate for us, but we are considering this as a special experience for people who are actually currently having intern. Okay, so about this one, I'm actually starting my internship period from actually the first week of February, and also I'm going to end it at later, which is 31st of July, which is about approximately 6 months long. Okay, so my job in On Semiconductor Sdn Bhd as an intern is actually as a travel auditor. So what is a travel auditor? Travel auditor is actually a job description for me to audit the expenses report that are given from 2 countries, which is China and also Taiwan. Okay. So on this section, I'm going to talk about the project in hand and also what do I do normally during my stay at On Semiconductor as a travel auditor. Okay, so first of all, I'm going to talk about travel auditing. Okay, so what is travel auditing? Apparently, when people, especially employees, they are traveling to other countries, but normally the employees that I'm going to responsible, which is China and so Taiwan, whenever they have any expense during their business trip, and also when they're trying to entertain the people outside, including government officials, they were able to send their expense claims to us, and we were going to audit the claims and also vouch it in order to grant the payments to them. Okay, so secondly, I want to talk about the Crown project. So normally we will save all the hard copies from the expense report that are sent to us from China and Taiwan, and then we will try to store it in a storage place, and also I'm responsible for updating the storage tracking and everything about it. Okay, so the third one will be duplication detection project. Okay, so duplication detection project is actually a project that was given to us as a travel auditor to scan out if there are any duplication, especially when some of the employees are trying to take advantage on those expense claims. Okay, so we are responsible to detect the duplication of all the projects. Okay, so the next one will be travel audit exception. Travel audit inspection is actually an Excel file for us to locate if there are any extra expenses that are being claimed by the employees, such as claims that without receipt, claims that are duplicated, claims that didn't pay for over 15 days and above due to some various reasons, such as special approval, late submission, and everything else. Okay, so the next one will be various projects will be given, especially during MCO where we are working from home. Okay, so we are still working from home basically 8 to 5 from Monday to Friday, even though as you know, some of the company have already closed their operations and everything. Okay, so there are 3 projects that were given to me, especially during pandemic. So the first one will be corners rate analysis. Okay, so what is corners rate? Corners rate is actually a rate that were given to employees when they travel to outside about for their business entertainment. So every day in basically different countries had different corners rate. So in America, basically they will calculate it based on USD. So we are following the rules of USD. So whenever we check entertainment and everything, we wanted to make sure that the employees doesn't eat something or having their lunch, dinner, breakfast that is over the corners rate. So in order to make sure that all the claims that we do are less than corners rate, I am responsible to check whether the past expense report had overcome the corners rate analysis, so that in future maybe the company would increase the budget of the corners rate, maybe like 50% buffer for them. Okay, so the secondly will be post audit project. So what is post audit project? Post audit project is something similarly to duplication detection. So we just normally do a post audit for every accident claim that we do during the quarter 4 of 2018 to quarter 1 of 2019 to detect is there any duplication of the report. Okay, so the third one will be maintain audit list cleanup. So I am responsible to run a software called data load in order to make sure that we are able to maintain and also update the audit list for the employees who have been terminated and also who are already resigned during the job. Okay. Okay, for this section, I'm going to talk about the strength, weakness, opportunity, and also threats, which is SWOT about on semiconductors and Berhad. So first of all, I want to talk about strength. So during my intern stay in on semiconductors and Berhad, there are a lot of strengths. Okay, but I'm going to emphasize a few most important strengths of the company. Okay, first of all, talking about experts. On semiconductors consists of a lot of experts, especially when the workers and also the employees, such as my supervisor, have been working for the company for almost like 10 years and above. Okay, so talking about that, every employees that are work there, even though they just only started working for already only 2 years, I feel that they knew everything and also the flow of the company. So it is very to be considered as fortunate to be able to come into this company and also try my intern, especially with the friends with the colleagues in the environment, which are helping me a lot, especially when I don't know things, when I'm trying to learn new things. Okay, so the second one will be loyalty. Employees in on semiconductor are very loyal, especially when I knew some of the employees in on semiconductor before I joined on semiconductor as an intern. So people that I know working from there are all exceeded 10 years or 20 years. So this proves that the on semiconductor is actually very taking care of their employees. Okay, so the third one will be environmental friendly. Environmental friendly is very important. So especially when there's a first perception, when you just go in as an intern, as a first day, you saw that everybody was greeting you. You are having a very own and very comfortable place to do your work and everything. And this helps me to learn more and also to work at a better place without like forcing more stress into me. Okay, so besides that, we as an intern are basically giving a test to know about a general knowledge when they're giving us the briefing during the during the training. Okay, So just to make sure that we all are capable of knowing what the products, what the process, what do we need to do in this company. So the next one we'll be talking about the weakness. Okay, so the weakness of this company will be the only thing, which is miscommunications. Okay, so why do I say so? Okay, even though On Semiconductor they are working in, which is site 1, consists of 4,000 people, which is 4,000 employees, but not every single one of them is actually under our single boss. Our boss is normally based on other countries. So for mine, which is travel auditor, we call it as a Malaysian Share Service Center. My boss is actually from Philippines and also from USA. So if there are any communications between us and the boss, is quite hard, because especially when there's a range between us and the boss. Okay, so I think that this is quite a challenge for an intern, especially when I'm not very good with all the things. Okay, so next I'm going to talk about the opportunities, which is okay. So as you can see, during this COVID-19, many of the businesses, especially those SME, a lot of businesses are dying out there because they were unable to operate based on what they need. Okay, so the good thing about On Semiconductor is it was able to get MITI approval during MCO, and it was able to maintain a workload of 50% or more. Okay, this shows that On Semiconductor had created a very good opportunity for not just themselves but also for employees who are needed money, especially during MCO. Some of the company doesn't even give their employees salary, as the company wouldn't able even to sustain their own operation. So this shows that On Semiconductor was capable of getting what they needed, especially the approval, which is quite hard to get, especially for during this pandemic. This proves that MITI is actually On Semiconductor is actually gaining trust from government, which is from various activities that have been done before, which is green technology and environmental sustain activities. Okay, so next I'm going to talk about threats. Okay, so threats, the first one I would like to talk about with is various competitors. So in Malaysia, there are a lot of competitors that create electronic devices, components, Bluetooth communications, especially the Samsung factory that near the area of On Semiconductor. So how does they do that? How do On Semiconductor try to overcome that? As you can see, On Semiconductor every year they will create a new product based on the research of their employees. So this helps to emphasize the research and also the development, which makes them to try to overcome the various competitors in the next years and also next few years. Okay, secondly, I want to talk about pricing strategies. Okay, so when there's a lot of competitors creating the same product and also the quality is quite parallel, we would like to emphasize more to pricing strategy. So in On Semiconductor, they will use strategic pricing skills in order to overcome their problems, to overcome their shortenings against the various competitors. Okay, so the last one I want to talk, which is quite serious, which is the pandemic. So COVID-19 is considered as a very huge threat to not just only the company, which is On Semiconductor, but also to all employees, as we are restricted, especially to direct laborers who are incapable of going to the office, going to the manufacturing site in order to produce products. Okay, so this actually affects a lot to the salaries, to the income, to the lifestyle. Okay, so what do On Semiconductor do? So On Semiconductor, as I was mentioning just now about the opportunities, it able to provide us the MITI approval for some of the direct laborers to go back to office in order to manufacturing and also to maintain the lifestyle through the salary. Okay, so secondly, indirect laborers such as us, which is a support team from purchasing, finance, and so on, we are capable of working from home due to a reason because we are actually based on the boss from other sites. Okay, because we are actually a support team. They are based on Philippines, USA. Instead of direct laborers, they are based on actually from Joseph Hernandez, which is a vice president in Seremban Site 1. Okay, so we are capable of still undergoing our process in this pandemic situation, and to be honest, I'm very glad. Okay, yes, we are capable to run and also working from home without stopping any operations of the company. Okay, so the last slide, I'm going to talk about the COVID-19 pandemic problems. Okay, so for On Semiconductor, we were totally unable to operate UMSO for IDL, especially when we needed to go into office. But luckily, we provided the solutions of working from home for IDL. Okay, so the next problems will be manufacturing were unable to operate at normal production rate, which is going to show a very significant drop of productions. Okay, so the solution that given to this was we were able to get the media approval. Okay, so in order to run 50% production rate for a DL, and also the company also started to implement self-retirement scheme for those workers that work more than 60 years, 40 years. Okay, and also they're giving them some subsidies for those who are retiring themselves. Okay, so regarding to the solution for the pandemic, we were actually given an exam that regarding to the COVID-19 in order to make sure that we know what is COVID-19 and so how to increase the awareness based on COVID-19. So social distancing is also implemented for people who are going back to On Semiconductor in order to operate, such as manufacturing team, operating team, so on for direct labors. They will normally like to create a social distancing in canteen, especially when during the lunch hour, and also many hand sanitizer have been provided in the On Semiconductor in order to make sure that employees are capable of guarding themselves. So Madam Hannah, that's all for my presentation about my intern stay at On Semiconductors around Malaysia. So I hope that you are capable of enjoying this video, and I also hope that you are staying safe and also keeping your family safe during this pandemic of COVID-19. Thank you.